This is a full tour of Vinyl Vault. This is a web app to enable vinyl record collectors to be able to digitally manage their entire archive. It's a very simple, easy to use platform, only takes a few minutes to get set up and add a lot of records. So here's how it works, and here's all of the different features that are involved. All right. So when you log in, first thing you'll need to do is create a collection. And I have obviously a few collections here, but you will go in and manage collection and then create your first collection. Once that's created, that's your main bucket of all the records that you're going to add in. You can create multiple if you want, like if you're going to be making a list of albums you want to sell perhaps or trade, you can do that. And that will keep them separate from your main collection. And I'm going to choose my main collection. One thing to note here, when it counts all of the records, it's going to add up everything in all your collections. So if you have duplicates, those will be counted as well. But once you get into each collection, it's going to show you how many albums you have right here. This is just the total across all collections. And also, once you have a collection built, you're going to see a collection value. So this is going to be market value based on when you add the album, it's going to go search out market values and add that in there. So if I click on the Bodines right here, this is a 1987 rock album, market value $15 to $25. So this, based on what's been sold recently in the market, Vinyl Vault has determined that's the approximate value of this album. And those values are then calculated as your collection value and totaled up. So adding an album is very simple, and it's actually best done using a mobile smartphone. So once you log in, you would click Add Album, click on this little icon here, and it's going to pop up with either the camera, if you're mobile, on using a phone, or it's going to pop up with if you're using a laptop, it's going to bring up your folders to pick an image to add. So what's happening is all you really need is a picture of the cover of the album. And that all happens in one go if you're using the smartphone. That's why I'm suggesting that, because you would just hit this button, add, take the picture, and it's added instantly within 10 seconds. So you could build an entire collection of 100 albums in just about 5 or 10 minutes. It's very quick to do it. And it goes out and searches. You don't have to add all the data that's back here within the album. So all this is automatically added once you take the picture and you add it to your collection. The Vinyl Vault AI is going to go and do all that research, come back with all this information, and start building your collection. Okay? So that's adding an album. You can also import Discogs. So if you already have a large collection built on Discogs, you can just click that. You would connect, use your Discogs login, select your collection on there, and it will automatically import everything. From there, you can then look at this the same way as you would if you were adding them manually. So you have a few options for searching. So I kind of showed that earlier. Right now I have this sorted by artist name alphabetically. Bodines, Bob Dylan, Chris Stapleton. I can go by release date. So this is showing the latest release date. This one doesn't have one. That's why it's showing up there, but these are all in by most current releases and going in reverse order. So you can pretty much easily scroll down and see what's your oldest record that you have with a known release date. So this is 1955, Duke Ellington. You can also sort by album title. And this is just alphabetically. Any titles with numbers, you're going to go first. 461 Ocean Boulevard, 90125. Those are going to show up first, and then it's alphabetical after that. Or you can search, and this is a quick search. So if I type in Rush, it's going to just filter all my Rush albums, and I'm going to see all of those right there. Like the Beatles, it's going to do that filtering and show me all my Beatles records right there. It's a very handy search. This feature was requested quite a bit, so that if you have hundreds of albums, it's very, very easy to narrow down looking at by artist or even by year. So if I do 1980, it's going to show nothing from 1980. Okay, then within each album is something called album archaeology. And this is a unique feature, unique to Vinyl Vault. Anytime you're doing research on an album within Vinyl Vault, you can choose to have the research added to the archaeology of the album. For example, if I pull up Ocean Boulevard and I click this story icon here, it's going to go out and use the Vinyl Vault AI in order to search a story about the making of 461 Ocean Boulevard. So it was recorded at a house, and as the titled address of Golden Beach, Florida, surprisingly, the album marked a pivotal recovery stage, blah, blah, blah. So this is true back history of the making of this album. So if I choose to, I can share this on socials, or I could save to the album. And now that little tidbit is now saved to the archaeology. So if I go back in, I've got two entries in my archaeology. I've got the one I just did today, and then another one that I did earlier on March 20th. So you can really start to get a rich history of each album the more you do research. And another way to do it is if you have, let's say, for example, you want to determine the pressing information, you can go here, click on this icon in the bottom right. This is Victor. This is, again, an AI assistant that's built into Vinyl Vault AI. And I can add in the matrix numbers. So if I have, if I know that this JS1065-ASD, whatever the matrix number is on the album, you type that in there, you hit send, and Victor is going to go out with some AI magic and go research those matrix numbers and come back with, if it's known, it's going to tell you the pressing, the plant, what's the record label. And, this is still in development. So the matrix numbers are quite detailed and potentially could be, I would say, a little bit incorrect. But so I just happened to type in that, and it found matrix code that's likely Columbia Records from the 60s. And then from here, if it was related to 461 Ocean Boulevard, I saved the album, and that would save this information to the Eric Clapton album. And so that's Victor. Next is Insights. So this is a pretty exciting feature that we've developed here. So here's my main collection with 47 albums. I just click this Insights button, and automatically you're going to get a lot of data on your entire collection. A little synopsis of your collection. You will see some big numbers here: total number of records, total number of artists, unique albums, estimated value. And this varies, right? So you'll see that there's two different values. As you know, with records, there's a market value depending on the condition, the pressing, all of that. So there's going to be a huge range in value. So this is really kind of a more conservative estimate of the value of all your records in this collection. And it's going to tell you how many you've added in the last 30 days to this collection. The most collected artist, in my case, Rush. I'm actually in the process of trying to collect all of their albums. Your rarest record. So this is one that where it's looking across all of the collectors on Vinyl Vault, and only 1.9 collectors own this. Top genres. the breakdown of this collection by era, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 2000s, and then top albums by market price. So this Julie London album is surprisingly valuable, as I found through different bits of research. So there's insights. Next is the For You feed. So up in the header menu here, you'll see For You. Now this is going to take a second to load because what it's doing is it's scanning your individual collection, and it's going to create a feed of albums across the entire network on Vinyl Vault and give you kind of show you a list of albums that other people have in their collection that you can peruse and do a few things with. So this is collector Will from his Discogs collection, the Bluegrass Hall of Fame. Tell me a little bit about it. I can like it. I can make a comment if I want to. I could also make an offer on it, which is a really interesting little feature where if you really are interested in this album and you wanted to make an offer to Will, you type in this number, $25. If you want to put a message and send offer, and it's going to show up as in his offers, or her, whoever Will is, to be able to respond to. And once that happens, you can have a conversation with this collector about this album and perhaps trading that, buying it, have you, whatever you wanted to do there. So that's the For You and offers. Finally, you go back, you will see if you have offers, you click in the offers page, and this is offers you've received by other collectors and offers that you have sent. And if there's anything, when someone responds to your offer, you click here and you can have a little conversation about this offer you made. You can withdraw the offer here. Finally, vault points. This is still in development, but each time you add an album, you'll get points. As you build your collections, you will just build, as it's verified, you get points added to your total. We're going to be using this in the future for things like merchandise and trading and stuff like that, but just to know that that's there. And so that is the full tour. Please give a comment if you have any questions, if something's unclear. If you're trying it out, feel free to email me, mike@veritopa.com, and I will answer all those questions personally. And I hope you have fun with it. Cheers.